Welcome to the second lecture on programming skills using C. In this lecture, you will learn to convert flowcharts, which we have written in the first session, into C code. Learn to use some of the operators and statements in C. Learn the conventions in naming variables. And once again, write flowcharts and pseudocode for more problems and convert them into C code. Let us come to this chart which I have given for pseudocode. C and its operators and statements. So which are the operators in C? We have the arithmetic operators like in the pseudocode, and these are almost the same: plus, minus, into, divided by, and modulus. We have come across and we have used them. Assignment operator. It was the back arrow in pseudocode. Now we use this symbol. We usually call it the equal symbol. It is not a correct terminology, but this is the symbol which we replace the back arrow with this symbol in C programs. Now we come to statements. Again, we will go through three of the statements which we are going to use immediately. First of the statements is assignment statement, where a value is assigned to a variable using this operator, assignment operator. For example, 20 is assigned to A, and you notice this: in C, every statement ends with a semicolon. In English, every sentence ends with a period, but in C, it is with semicolon. Similarly, here A plus B is assigned to C, and it ends with a semicolon. With that, we come to the second statement, the output statement. In our pseudocode, we said print within brackets some variable. Here it is printf, print function. There is what is called the format specifier string and followed by variable. I will be explaining to you the format specifier string. It tells us what kind of variable is there whose value has to be printed. For example, percentage D is for integer variables. A and B are integer, therefore these two will be printed. If you don't put this format specifier percentage D, the values won't be printed. Similarly, printf, sum of percentage D and percentage is equal to percentage. That means A value will come here, B value will come here, and C value will come here. With that, we come to the last of the statements for this session, that is input statement. We want to input data, input numbers, input alphanumeric data into the computer for processing. So I need to have a statement, and that is scanf. In our pseudocode, we use input as the input statement. Here scan function, again the format specifier string, and note this is very important thing to note: every variable to be preceded by ampersand, this symbol. For example, scanf percentage D, comma, ampersand A, ampersand B. That means these two values, you have to input two values, and they are integer type. So this is therefore the set. These are the set of operators, two sets of operators, and three statements right now we are going to use. And all the flowcharts we have written in the first session will be converted now into C program. A little more about types of variables in C. In the flowchart in pseudocode, we did not mention whether it is integer or a float, a character string, etc. But when we come to C, right at the beginning, we need to declare each of those variables, and we have to declare the type of the variable. What are the different? There are many different types. At the moment, I would like to introduce you to only three types of variable. Integer, these are whole numbers, 250, etc. Floating numbers are decimal numbers. You have got some examples here: 1.5, 5.6, etc. Character strings, we are going to deal with a lot of character strings, names to be entered. For example, Rajat, Leston, Sudhir, etc. These are the alphanumeric data we want to enter. So these are the three types of variables we are going to use right now, and they are declared using int, float, and character. Int by for integer is by int, float by float, and character by all in small letters. Please remember, for example, here int ABC, that means A and B and C are integer type of variables. Similarly, F, amount paid, and DA are floating type of variables, and name within square bracket is 30. Please remember that we are going to deal with that. So because I want to enter name, an alphanumeric string, it is not just one character, but there may be 20 characters 30 characters. So this says this is a character string variable, and the name of that variable is name, and it is 30 characters long. Again, come in. So we always give, how do we declare the variables in C? I give the type of the variable and variable name. Int, for example, a comma b, float C, character ch, character name 21. So you can input any character string up to 20 characters only, not more than 20. We will come to that later when we deal with character strings. So this is how we are going to declare, and this has to be done right at the beginning of every C program. Now, one thing you have to remember, that the names should be very representative of what they are going to store, not just A, B, C, X, Y, Z, etc. Therefore, it's very, very important that how you name the variables. First of all, variables use a continuous sequence of alphabets and digits. There should not be any blank space in between. So please remember that. One variable is continuous sequence of alphabets and digits. For example, here, and also secondly, they should be self-explanatory. When you look at the variable, you know what it represents. For example, amount, you remember, you know that it is something about money. Area, this is something about area of triangle maybe, or a rectangle maybe. And the amount paid. Now, two words are there. When you combine two words, you don't put blank in between, but you put one after the other. But see that the first letter of each word is in capital. A, T, B, and P, etc. It's very, very, very good exercise, a very good habit. So you have to develop this habit, not just name them as X1, X2, or A, B, C, etc. Please remember that. So your variables should be representative of what you are going to store. Coming back to the form, I mentioned that format specifier string in that C chart. So int is represented by %d, float is represented by %f, character string here is represented by %s. %c would be just the character, but we are interested most of the time in enter strings. Therefore, %f is used. For example, printf, in output statement printf, the amount paid is equal to %d. So amount paid, this amount paid will come here. This amount, the value contained in amount paid will be printed here. Similarly, sum of a %d and percentage is equal to %d. So A value will come here, B value will come here, C value will come. If you don't give these specifiers, the values will not be displayed. Similarly, name of the student it should be is equal to %s. So name contains that value, maybe say Sudhir or maybe Ashok. So it will appear here. Similarly, in the input statement, scanf statement, we have just put these specifiers within inverted commas as I've done here, and ampersand A, ampersand B. Now, don't worry about why it is ampersand, etc. But please remember, whenever you use scanf input statement in C, you have to precede your variable by ampersand, ampersand. Why it is, I will explain to you when we come to pointers in C. But when it comes to character strings, I do not have to give. I will deal with that later. So scanf is equal to, again, %f. This is a floating number. Therefore, I put %f and ampersand C. So with that, we come to the first flow chart, conversion of first flow chart into a C program. As you see here, this is the flow chart we have written, start and end. And in between, we have got all these statements. Let us see how we are going to convert this into a good C program. So start represents the curly bracket here, the starting brackets, and end the other curly bracket. So that whatever is there in between start and end will have to come inside this curly bracket and this curly bracket, all that. Before that, you see here one box here started with / and star here and line. Similarly, ending with the / and line. Line and / and line. Please, important. This is the box in which you will write the name of the program, the name with which you are going to store that program. And what is this program going to do? So for example, a program to find the sum of two numbers and your name and the date on which you have written. Very, very important. This is called the documentation box. See that when you will start writing any C program, first start, or any program, start with this documentation block. Then you have got two statements here. Include, hash includes stdio.h and include con.ioh. These are header files, and these declare some of those commands we are going to, for example, scanf, printf, etc. are declared here in this standard input output file, and getch is declared in con.ioh, console input output h header file. Therefore these are very important. If you don't give those, the compiler doesn't understand your the commands, etc. So it will say I can't process this program. Therefore this has to be included at the beginning of every program. Then comes main. This is the what is called the main function in C. Every C program will have a main starting with the curly bracket and the end bracket, and within that you have got all the other statements. So now we come to conversion of these into the flowchart into C program. As you see in the flowchart, it's a variable a comma b comma c. Now instead of putting a variable, I say int a b c. That means a, b and c are integer type. Similarly, input, I want to input two numbers. Input is substituted by scanf in my C program, and it's a percentage d, ampersand a, ampersand b. Similarly, now processing, you are finding the sum of a and b and assigning it to C. Here, sum of a and b, I use this assignment operator in C and write this statement. Convert each, whatever is there in the box is converted directly into C statement. Similarly, printf here, sum of percentage d, etc. a, b, c. So the values of this will appear here, and getch, because that will wait for you to press any key, and then will come out of the program. So this will display, and then it will go back to the prompt. So therefore this is how we convert this program, this flowchart into C program. Now the program I have shown you just now is not a perfect program, not a good program. So I want to make it better program. How do I do better program? Because after all, your program should be user friendly. If you execute the program, earlier code, suddenly nothing will happen on the screen. You will, the person who is going to use your program will wonder what he is supposed to. Therefore, it is very, very important you give lot of instructions to the person who is going to use your program. Therefore, after declaring the variable, always say system clear. This is in Unix. In Baudelaire C, you say CLR. So that means clear the screen. Let the screen be, because there may be some lot of junk on the screen. So you clear the screen. After that, the title of the program will come. This is not going to be printed, but what you say in printf, program to find the sum of two numbers, this will be printed there. And you have got the slash n. I will explain to you a little later. Then you say enter two numbers. After this title of the program, you have to tell the person, now you enter two numbers. He has to do something. Otherwise, he will not know what to do. Therefore, you say enter two numbers. Then scanf percentage d percentage, you are entering two numbers. And this is what we have done earlier. And I want to bring to your notice this slash n, forward slash n here and here. Why do we do that? If that forward slash is not there, when you compile this program and execute this program, what happens is it will print program to find the sum of two numbers, and followed by in the same line enter two numbers. I want enter two numbers to come on the next line. Therefore I have to give this white space character. We will come to that later. It is called slash n, means go to next line, so I am telling you go to next line and then print, etc. So please remember that every printf statement should have. Now your program should be the best. Your program should be the best. I would like to give you an anecdote about Steve Jobs. You know, when Steve Jobs was a young boy, one day his dad asked him, Steve, go and paint the fence in front of our house. And you know, Steve spent the whole day and painted that fence beautifully. And in the evening at 5 o'clock, he came to his dad and said, "Dad, I've painted the fence." Then dad came out and he saw the fence and he said, "Steve, you have not painted the fence from inside." Then Steve said, "Dad, who is going to look it from inside?" He said, "People may not look from inside, but we are there to look at it from inside." And Steve says, that was a very inspirational thought for me. And you know, when he designed his first Mac, he called his engineers and he said, "I want the Mac to be beautiful, very simple from outside. As you see here, it should be just white and very simple. But in case suppose somebody opens the computer, it should look very gorgeous. All the circuits there, etc., to be beautifully arranged, and they should shed tears of joy because after seeing that art there, that is what he said. And that is how he wanted his computers, not only just machines, machines with a lot of art. And your programs also need to be like that. Very, very, very important. Very neat program and nicely written, because you may be writing your program and somebody is going to use that program, somebody is going to maybe modify that program. Therefore it should be well documented. Therefore every program, I will come to that little later. So let us see, we'll take the second flow chart, that is to find the area of a circle with the radius r. So we declared this variable area circle and r. You input r and then find the area of the circle. Again, pi here, pi is to be, this pi is to be replaced by 22.0 divided by 7 into r, and you display the area of the circle, and that is the end. This is the flow chart. We have written it earlier. Now let us see how we are going to write the area of this circle. Again, this box here, you start with the name of the program you are going to save it as, and you say what it is doing, by whom, on which day, and you include standard input output dot h and main starting curly bracket and end curly bracket. Whatever is there in the flow chart will have to come here. First declaration, we have two variables, r and area. R is integer and area naturally has to be a floating number. You clear the screen, system clear the screen. Then you give the title of the screen and you say enter the radius. Scan f percentage d ampersand r. You enter radius. You calculate the area of the circle using that formula and you print the what is that, the area of the circle with radius. The value of r will come here and value of area will come there. So this becomes a better program. As I said here, please remember, every program, in your every program, after the main curly brackets, leave a margin here and let all the statements come on the same margin, very important. And after declaration of variable, let there be blank space, and after here or scanf, let there be blank space. Then your program becomes readable and beautiful, as Steve Jobs wanted his engineers to be, because you may say nobody is going to look at your program because they are going to execute your program. No, time may come, one person may have to go through your program and check your program and understand your program. Therefore you have to make it readable program. Second, next, write flow chart with pseudocode to convert temperature in centigrade to Fahrenheit. We have come across this formula and you have written the flow chart. We again write the flow chart. The variables f and c. Input, we are going to input only c because c has to convert it into f. We do the conversion using this formula and you print the output, temperature in f. This is the flow chart. Then this is the C program. Again, name, you just remember, your name of the file also has to be very representative. C to F, area, triangle, etc. C to F. But just by looking at the program name, don't give it as A1, A2 or program 1, program 2, etc. You don't know what it is. And therefore, just give correct name. C to F means convert C to F. That is the name of the program. Here you have got information about what you are doing, by whom, etc. And again you see this has to be remembered, the skills you have to get. Again, this margin C2, these are two floating type variables. Clear the screen, name of the program, slash n, remember, and enter the value of temperature in C. I'm not giving slash n there because I want to enter the value here. Then scanf, then you have got this statement, the conversion of this mathematical statement into the C code, and you got the final program. And I have given here 4.2 F, and that means up to 2 decimals. You represent the values of C and F up to 2 decimals. So that is the meaning of that. So this becomes a good program, as you see, with lot of good margin and a lot of space. And next is write flow chart and C program to find the volume of a cylinder of radius r and height. So this is the cylinder, radius r. How do you find the volume? So I have to find the area of this circle and multiply it with h. That is 2 pi r squared into h. That is the formula. Therefore, start a volume of cylinder and r and h. And out of these r and h, we are going to input r and h. Then you use this formula. So pi into r, pi r squared into h. This is pi r squared means this will give you the area of this circle, and then h will multiply with this. With that I find the volume of this cylinder. So that is the thing, and you display the volume of the cylinder. And I would like you to write the C program for that. And we come to the last of the programs here. Write flowchart and C program to find the area of a triangle if the length of 3 sides is given. So various types of ways are there to find out the area of a triangle. You know, half BH is 1. But if I don't, I can use this formula, square root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c, where s is equal to a plus b plus c. Now, first you have to find out the value of s, because you have to substitute it in this formula. Therefore, start variable. These are the different variables. I input only the values of a, b and c. I don't have to input s. I have to calculate s. Therefore, s is you assign a plus b plus c divided by 3. Sometimes students make the mistake. They don't put the bracket here. They write a plus b plus c divided by 3. In mathematics, it may be okay, but not in computer science. Here you have to put this bracket and this bracket, and you find the sum and divide by 3. And then use this value in this formula. SQRT means square root. There is a function which we are going to use in our C. And S into, don't forget this operator, s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. So that calculates the area of a triangle, and you display the area of the triangle. So with that, I would like you to spend some time and then write C programs. Convert these two flowcharts into corresponding C program, and save those programs and compile those programs and then execute those programs. Thank you very much.